A rancher rides a fence line in Arizona and spots a torn backpack hanging on barbed wire, like it's trying to crawl back home. Inside is a note in a teenager's handwriting. They said no one would believe me. It belonged to 17-year-old Maria Cabrera, who vanished at a lonely crossroads 3 months earlier. The sheriff wrote, "Runaway, possible voluntary." 2 years later, her body surfaced 15 miles away. No mastermind needed. Just 3 mistakes that keep repeating like a broken song. Maria was a kid who talked to stray cats, used glitter pens, and told her grandma she'd be back for dinner. Her life looked ordinary. That's the trick of most tragedies. They star in kitchens and parking lots, not dark alleys on TV. Here's the hard truth. Killers don't always win by being clever. They win when we make the same 3 rookie mistakes. Crush the golden hour, break the paper trail, and fall in love with one easy story. Let's drag each mistake into the sun. Northern California, 1983. The Keddie Cabin murders. 4 people beaten and stabbed inside a tiny vacation cabin. Before forensics arrived, neighbors and even the fire chief walked through like it was a neighborhood brunch. Cigarettes lit, drawers opened. Someone stepped in blood, like it was red paint drying on a garage floor. By sunrise, the shoe prints were gone. The murder weapon, a blood-soaked claw hammer, vanished. A souvenir hunter, they said. 38 years later, still no charges. Picture the cabin. Wood paneling, cozy couch, a family photo on a shelf. Places like that feel safe. That's the illusion. A crime scene is like a snow globe, beautiful until you shake it. Then everything swirls and you can't see what was where. The first hour after a crime is like catching a dandelion seed before it blows away. Every minute, scents fade, blood dries, memories cool, and footprints get trampled. But adrenaline lies to your brain. It yells, help, not preserve. So someone drags a body to make it look better for the family. Someone scrolls a phone to find anything useful. The scene tape is still in the squad car. By the time the crime lab shows up, the room has been stirred like soup. The precise map of the crime, the invisible story written on the floor, has been erased. The golden hour is like baking bread. If you poke, open the oven constantly, or change the temperature, the loaf falls flat. No amount of frosting can fix collapsed dough. In Keddie, that claw hammer could have told a story. Angle of blows, DNA on the handle, prints under dried blood. Instead, it walked away in someone's jacket pocket, and the footprints that once pointed to the door got stomped into a muddy mess. That's how cases grow cold, not from genius villains, but from human bustle. What actually works? Rope it off like a concert with a single VIP entrance. Log every person in every step like a pilot's checklist. Photograph everything, then do it again at a wider angle, drone then microscope. Treat the place like a museum where one sneeze can erase a painting. The public gets it wrong too. We want action. We want to help. But sometimes the most heroic thing is to stay behind the tape and keep still. Preserve, then pursue. Think of evidence as a soap bubble. If you guard it, you can study the rainbow. If you touch it, pop, gone forever. Illinois, 1996. 10-year-old Joel Kirkpatrick is murdered. On his Pokémon bedsheet, a bloody palm print. Not mom's, not family. It screams intruder. It could be the finger in the universe that points to the killer. A kid's room is a castle. Posters on the wall, a nightlight, a bucket of plastic heroes. Evidence in that space isn't just DNA. It's the timeline of a life. And then the worst happens. The sheet goes to the state lab. But the bag isn't sealed. The date is smudged. The signature line blank. Over 5 years, this sheet takes a road trip through 3 evidence rooms with 3 different thermostats. A lab tech is asked, "Can you swear this evidence didn't change?" The answer isn't science. It's paperwork. No, suddenly, that palm print stops being a voice and becomes a rumor. The jury acquits the only person who ever sat in the hot seat. No one else is tried. Chain of custody is a relay race. Each runner must pass the baton cleanly, drop it, or pass it without witnesses, and the whole team loses. Or think of it as a sealed jar of fireflies. Crack the lid just a peek, and a few fly out. Now try proving how many are left. Evidence mishandled is evidence poisoned. It's not just thrown out, it throws out trust. And once the trust is gone, so is the chance to nail a killer in court. What actually works? Barcodes on every item like groceries. Scan in, scan out. Triple signatures. Who collected, who transported, who received. Freezer logs with alarms like a bank vault. Seals that show if someone even breathed on the bag. Cold case detectives regularly open dusty boxes and find half the exhibits missing or tossed during office move. That's like burning chapters in a book and wondering why the ending makes no sense. The fix is habit, not heroics. Treat every rape kit, every shell casing, every Pokémon sheet like a kilo of cartel cocaine bound for federal court. If we protect drugs that well, why not the truth? Houston, 2007. LaDondra Montgomery is arrested for a Christmas Eve armed robbery. A witness picks him from a sloppy photo spread. He's got priors. The narrative writes itself. Detectives stop looking. The jury convicts. Months later, someone checks a simple thing. The surveillance timestamp against his ankle monitor. He was at the probation office miles away. 11 months of freedom. Gone because no one wanted to challenge their own story. Holidays. Shopping bags. A city humming with carols and cash registers. And a young man with a monitor that should have been an alibi as bright as a lighthouse. But nobody looked. Tunnel vision is a silent assassin. Once a theory sets, runaway, jealous boyfriend, drug debt, everything that doesn't fit gets labeled noise. Officers shine a spotlight on evidence that agrees and pull the plug on anything else. They forget to call back a witness who contradicts a vibe. They call other suspects distractions. It feels efficient. It's actually like using a GPS that lost its satellites. The map still shows a straight road, but you're in a ditch. Falling in love with one story is like trying on a shirt that almost fits, then cutting your arms to make it perfect. The shirt looks okay. You're the one who's bleeding. What actually works? Bring in a fresh team whose only job is to punch holes in the obvious story. Make a devil's advocate the loudest voice in the room. Flip the homework. Prove the first story wrong. If it survives, great. If it dies, even better, because you just saved a life from the wrong prison. The community playbook. Ask these 3 questions out loud. When a case breaks in your town, time starts a countdown. The good news, every mistake above is fixable if we make these questions public early and loud. 1. Was the scene taped and logged? Who walked in and when? 2. Is every scrap of evidence barcoded, sealed, and kept at the right temperature? 3. Who's assigned to prove the first story wrong? Call the press. Email the chief. Share this with the scanner crowd. Because silence is the best friend a killer ever had. Maria Cabrera's note. The claw hammer that walked. The palm print that turned into paperwork mush. The Christmas Eve timeline that no one checked. These aren't riddles. They're gifts we keep handing to killers. A trampled scene, a busted paper trail, and an investigation married to the easiest tale. In every town, people want the same thing. To tuck their kids into bed, to let dogs run in the yard, to drive past sirens and believe someone's in control. We put blue lights in windows. We bake casseroles for the station. We trust. But systems don't fail with fireworks. They fail like a slow leak in a tire. Quietly, mile after mile, a deputy forgets the tape. An evidence bag loses its seal. A detective shrugs at a tip that doesn't fit. By the time the car wobbles, it's too late. Killers don't age out of guilt. They age out of reach. Memories fade, witnesses move, files go missing, investigators retire. The monster gets to grow old, go to brunch, mow his lawn. That's the burn. Maria's note said, "They said no one would believe me." People didn't. But we can believe her now by refusing to give away the only 3 things time can never return. A clean scene, a clean chain, and a clear mind. Keep asking the hard questions. Keep standing behind the tape. Keep punching holes in the easy story. That's how ghosts stop roaming, and how the living finally rest